You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some sad news to share with you all this evening. And it seems kind of fitting that we're in New York State tonight to make this announcement. You all know me as a longtime Hockey's fan and a stout Sabres supporter. And yesterday evening, unfortunately, we lost the best to ever strap on a headset to call a hockey game. Longtime Sabres radio announcer Rick Jenneret has unfortunately lost his 2-year battle with multiple organ failure, and he's now crossed over to the other side. I've been in tears all day over this, but the one thing I can take solace in is I know that Rick is up there in heaven, because God knows, as a Sabres supporter, that man has lived his hell here on earth. We raced this weekend in Rick's honor, as we are in New York State, Western New York, if you will, in Watkins Glen. And joining me now is another guy that's been a long-time Buffalo Sabres fan, Matt Metler. What did RJ mean to you?
Man, where do you start about RJ, Tony? I mean, growing up, the first time I ever watched, professional sports, it was a hockey game at my father's house, and
Empire Sports Network.
Empire Sports Network, you got it. Thing of the past. But if you're born and raised in Western New York or in the Finger Lakes area, Syracuse, you know all about Empire Sports Network, and you can't not associate the Sabres and RJ without, Empire Sports Network. They kind of went hand in hand. That was the, that was the cream in the middle of the Oreos. RJ was just legendary. The voice, the charisma, the passion that he had, the love of the sport. And you hit the nail on the head. He did go through hell on earth being a Sabres fan, but he loved every single second of it. The highs, the lows, the good, the bad. There was no doubt in anyone's mind. I believe he started broadcasting for the Sabres in the late 60s or early 70s, if I remember correctly.
He was the first ever man to broadcast the Sabres game back in 72 when they started. And
right, he's the OG.
He is the OG of the Sabres. That franchise got its start, and RJ was the announcer. And he's the reason I got into broadcasting. Hearing him make those calls on the radio and painting the picture, that's why I do what I do. I paint the picture. So you don't have to be watching the race. You can have it on in the background doing other things. But I try to paint the picture of what's going on track. And it just seems only fitting that we come here to the Glen to race in his honor this weekend. 3 straight days, you and me, Matt, and we're going to be here at the Glen.
You know, you're right. Not that you ever want to see the passing of anybody, let alone a Sabres legend, but if it's going to happen and God's will that it needs to happen, why not be here in Watkins Glen, the real wine country, as you like to call it, for some great American road racing while we celebrate the legacy of one of the greatest, not only, the greatest, piece of Buffalo Sabres heart and soul, the voice. I mean, I used to turn the volume down on the TV and just let the radio play over the television.
I think a lot of people did that. I think a lot of people did that because he had that call that no matter where you are in the country, if you heard him on the call, you knew it was about to get exciting.
Well, not only that, I mean, he was exciting, from the pregame show, and then when he hit stride, he would captivate, audiences, and he had your attention, and that was one of the things he was so good at, amongst a lot of things. But he had the voice, and he knew how to use it, and he knew what to say along with it, and probably one of the best in the business out of all professional sports, if you ask me. I put him right up there with Ken Squire on the NASCAR side of things, Tony.
That's probably the best way to put it for racing fans to realize just how much of an impact RJ had on Buffalo sports. And it wasn't just the Sabres. He also was a rabid Bills fan as well. And, between those two teams, if he's not in heaven, there is no God. Because
I firmly believe that man is there, Tony, not to cut you off.
And, there's an old Irish proverb. And, I can take a little bit of solace and hopefully give a little solace to his family by saying this. And the proverb goes, may you be in heaven an hour before the devil knows you're dead. And I really, in my heart, believe that that's the case with RJ. Rich Jenneret, I know you're going to be looking down on my Sabres this season. And if anybody can help them win Lord Stanley Cup, I know it's you.
He very well could be the reason, because Lord knows he gave it everything he had. He did everything a broadcaster and then some could do from his position to go out there and, almost got it done. I don't want to bring up the whole no goal thing, but if it happens this year, out of all years, I mean,
RJ will be looking down on the team to let him bring
yes,
one
sir,
home.
Without question.
Well, right now we've got a race to get to. We're about halfway through qualifying right now. Greg Wood Jr. currently sits atop the heat by 2 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, Greg Wood clearly has been on a couple wine tours out around this place. I mean, that lap of a 1:13.340 is absolute lightning. And Caleb Collins not far behind him either at a 1:13.534.
Oh,
so clearly...
Look at this one. Is Ricky Gonzalez is ripping one out right now. He is on pace. 1:13... 1:12.
1:12.
Wow. The gauntlet has been thrown down here tonight in the Finger Lakes.
I mean, Thor's hammer just dropped and put a 2-mile deep crater in the racetrack with that one. I mean, that's scary fast, Tony, and you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I know exactly where you're going with that one. One of the most infamous calls ever by Rich Jenneret when the Sabres qualified for the Stanley Cup Finals. These guys are good. Scary good. And that's exactly what we're seeing is Gonzalez is going faster still. Gave some up there in the second sector. He may have gotten an off track.
And Tony, keep in mind, this is on cold tires with those cocky pucks, as you like to call them, and a full fuel load.
Fitting.
So, very fitting. And I find it, I don't want to use the word ironic, but it's just crazy how all this is coming together.
112.5 with a 5.
With a 5. I mean, that is... Someone check his pulse to make sure he's not a robot. See if he makes sure he's got a pulse. I mean, that is absolutely... That is blitzkrieg around this racetrack. That is lights out.
That's, old school
And again,
Formula
like I
One
said,
lap times from back in the day.
Bingo. Old school Formula One lap times. And again, that was on biscuits that are cold. They're not hot. Brakes that probably aren't up to temperature. And a full fuel load in the back. And we know we've broadcasted enough of these next-gen races on road courses, Tony. The car only gets faster.
Exactly. But right now, Ricky Gonzalez, the first one to go sub-minute 13 here tonight. That's going to be difficult to top.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky if I fall into the 1 minute 15-second bracket here. If I'm lucky,
That's where a lot of these guys are. As I'm watching Dylan McDonald right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rhett Bowser, Zachary Woods, Cody. I'm not Cody Mitchell. I'm sorry. And that's where a lot of these guys were in practice as well, myself included. I was at a 1:15.785. Really not concerned about going out there and qualifying as much. Watkins Glen, there's usually a lot of attrition here, and I just don't have the speed to go up there and, even try to challenge Ricky Gonzalez or Greg Wood or Collins. I mean, those times are just absolutely unbelievable.
Absolutely. And of all the places to kick off round number 2 of the playoffs, this is wild. I mean, this is going to be an Old West shootout here in the Finger Lakes.
It is. Wine glasses ablazing. Tony, I know you're a big fan of the dessert wines as well.
Used to be.
Believe me, used to be. Used to be. Well, I'm sure you can remember and think back and look at, hey, no one loves Watkins Glen, Western New York, Central New York as much as you do. And the Sabres on top of it for that matter. So it's only fitting. And we've seen this throughout sports before in times of tragedy, where things have happened that just help get you through the day, make it just a little bit better. And this is certainly, one of those times.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the year that my father passed. And I know my dad had a hand in helping the cardiac kids, as he used to call them, for the Syracuse Orangemen, get to the Final Four of the NC2A basketball men's playoffs. I guarantee you my dad had a hand in that one. As we're watching Dylan McDonald really throw that thing through the bus stop right now. And that's the thing about this newer car, as opposed to the old Gen 6 version of the Cup car. You can really huck this thing into that bus stop now. Before, if you tried that and took too much curbing, you were going around quick, fast, and in a hurry, as you like to say. Yeah,
quick, fast, and in a hurry. But that multi-link independent rear suspension, just as I say that,
yikes!
As McDonald was trying to back up when he ran in practice, again, the only other driver in that 1/12-second range, but doesn't look like maybe that's going to be possible after what we just witnessed.
So congratulations to Ricky Gonzalez for setting quick time here in qualifying. Only Greg Wood Sr. and Richard Gonzalez, the only two not up here in the broadcast booth, that are electing to not take time here in qualifying. So 15 car field tonight.
I'm going to say it right now. I know we'll be on the racetrack, Tony, but don't count out Dylan McDonald. I know he's going to be starting deeper in the field, but if he can be patient, he can be a threat before this race is over. I know he's that good at these road course tracks.
Oh, absolutely. As we get ready to start tonight's starting grid, taking a look right there in the number 7, your pole sitter, quick time award winner, Ricky Gonzalez, 112.55 with a 2. Wow. A full 7/10, almost 8/10 quicker than Greg Wood Jr. That is your front row. Caleb Collins and Jonathan Cogswell going to roll it from row number 2. Wes Fuller and Bill Sleep rolling it from row number 3. Row 4 is going to see James Jones and Cody Mitchell. David Modespaw and Rhett Belzer rolling it from row number 5. Zach Woods and David Mayo in row number 6. Row 7 is going to see Greg Woods Sr. and Richard Gonzalez starting shotgun on the field. Your regular season points champion, Dylan McDonald. And, as you said, Matt, he may be starting deep, but he's going to make it up relatively quickly. Best of luck to you, as I see you're on the starting grid as well.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that, brother. I'll have front row seats for Dylan McDonald's charge to the front while I can hold on, that is.
True story. As we are just waiting on Cody Mitchell to jump onto the grid. And there you can see it. Everybody with a green windshield banner, those are the people that are left in the playoffs. Your Elite 8, if you will. Actually, 12. Sorry, I can't count tonight.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And, Matt, are you running the paint scheme I think you're running tonight?
I am, but I forgot to turn my sound back up, so now I got a pit start.
Aha. Well, we are definitely going to highlight the 93 here this evening.
I thought it was only fitting, Tony. I
Absolutely
did some digging on trading paints, and I was thrilled to see that that was available. So I thought, why not? I had to put this on the car.
Remind me to send you my fire suit later.
10-4, you got it, brother.
Sabered home blue.
Beautiful color, by the way.
And I believe Greg Woods Jr. told us before the race went live that stages are at lap 8 and what? 20? Matt? We just lost Matt temporarily. I do know the first stage is going to end at lap 8. Now, we're not going to take a caution for it. That's the good news. Bad news is we're not going to get a caution tonight, so if anybody does have an oops, they're going to be in trouble. Field working its way through the bus stop. Everybody getting pretty single-filed out. There is your Quick Time Award winner, Ricky Gonzalez. Starting next to the man that's leading the points right now. That is Greg Wood Jr. Behind the Porsche safety car here tonight. Field starting to form up. As we get ready to turn these guys loose for 40 laps in RJ's honor. The only thing that's left for me to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, get to the top shelf where you hide the cookies, because it's time to get it on in the Finger Lakes. Race fans, it's showtime! Green flag comes out, and we are down and away. Greg Wood Jr., Ricky Gonzalez side by side. Everybody getting tiptoeing through turn number 1 on those cold tires. Caleb Collins almost getting into Gonzalez as Wood swings it wide through 1, side by side, up through the S's. Not the greatest of ideas in a best situation. These guys, though, are making it work, making it stick. As Matt Mettler finally down and away after having to pit start, he doesn't get released until the last car crosses the start-finish line to take the green. Through the bus stop for the first time, Gonzalez leads. Woods, Collins, Cogswell, and Fuller, your top 5 right now, as we are going to go take a look at, well, we got somebody off in the back there, and then that looks like Greg Woods Sr. having issues as Mettler blows through the, don't do it, Mettler blows through the bus stop, and, hey, Get yourself some screen time. That is definitely a beautifully painted car, Matt. I'm glad you found that one for the Chevy. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Greg Woods Sr. here coming up through the S's. Oh my, that kicked off earlier. Well, let's go back to here then. Keep your eye on that silver Hoonigan number 64. Remember what I said about coming up through the S's too wide? That's usually not a good idea. Oh, boom, there goes the Armco. First casualty of Armco damage tonight. Greg Woods Sr. Luckily, he's got a fast repair in his pocket, though he did tow it back to pit road. There is Metler, and Gonzalez wasting absolutely no time getting into the 112s. 112.97 on lap number 2. Wow. Top 3 starting to get a little bit of a breakaway. We got to go back here to James Jones. There he is in the 45, trying to reel in Rhett Belzer and Bill Sleep. And I'm kind of digging the old Mark Martin tribute scheme on Zach Woods, number 60 tonight. Kind of reminiscent of the old Eagle 1 paint scheme that Martin used to drive in the Busch Series. Caleb Collins now having to deal with Jonathan Cogswell as Cogswell starting to reel him in ever so steady. And Dylan McDonald, your regular season points champion, guess what? He's already up to 5th. There he is. And running down the 2 in front of him. As McDonald dips into the 112s. What a lap. 112.83 with a 5. That's cooking here. Unfortunately, he couldn't get that to work during qualifying, but he did make it here in race trim. This is going to be I dare say it's going to be the Dylan and Ricky show here tonight. Slugging it out back and forth for quick lap of the race. As McDonald has already caught Cogswell. And makes the pass coming down the short chute. Leading into the penultimate corner, the only true left-hander on the course. And I find it amusing that iRacing refers to this as a 7-turn course. Count them with me, folks, as we're going to follow along on board with McDonald. We're going down into turn 1 right now. Okay, turn 1. A little bit over the curving, coming up into the S's. This is the 2, 3, 4 complex. That's 2. This is 3. There was 4 and 5 back there. Sorry, that was 4 back there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 are right here, part of the carousel. This is the way it's been all my life, ever since they added that bus stop. So there they exited 10. They're coming down into the true left-hander. That's turn 11. And anybody that tells you differently is lying to you. And it's a quick jaunt into turn 12 and back onto the front straightaway. As he runs it a little bit wide, that's going to let Collins get back to him. This battle for third, hot and heavy right now. Oh, contact into S's. Well, that was a thing. Let's go back and take a look at what happened there with Collins. There you see McDonald run it wide through 1. Collins is going to get to his inside coming into 2. And up through the S's they go. And yeah, I got to put that one on Dylan. Unfortunately, he didn't have the clear. He should have lifted. It's right now 1, 2, and 3 on track. Ricky Gonzalez. There he is, Greg Wood Jr. and Dylan McDonald coming down the front chute now are the only 3 drivers tonight that have gone sub 1 minute 13. With Gonzalez, of course, being the fastest of them all at a 1:12.65. And even a Texas native can show some love to RJ as drivers showing rest in peace to one of the greatest ever strap on a headset. And I don't care what sports genre you're talking about. You know, every sport has its guy. You know, as Matt Metler mentioned during the open there, Ken Squire for NASCAR. You got Harry Carey in baseball. I mean, nobody called him like he did. And then, of course, the great Rich Jeanneret in hockey. One of the greatest ever. As Gonzalez goes even quicker still. Ricky, leave some of the table for the rest of the kids, will you? He's already flirting with the 12.5s. Nice. The closest battle on track here is between Zach Wood and Richard Gonzalez. As Gonzalez in the lone Toyota, as he has been most of this season. Maldispa having issues, and that doesn't look healthy. As a matter of fact, that left front suspension is not attached. What happened to Maldispa? He is getting ready to come up through the S's. And just catches the grass, and oh, baby, hang on to her. And that's what ripped the left front suspension off of that car. And as we go back to live action, he's trying to loop that thing around. Right now, Jones and Mitchell. Oh, we got a whole gaggle of them here. That's Belzer, Mitchell, Jones, Wood, and Gonzalez Sr. all right there. This is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all running stem to stern right now. And this is a very treacherous braking zone coming into 1. It's a reverse cambered corner, and you're coming off of a downhill going into it. It's very difficult to get that car wound down enough and not overslow it to be able to carry some speed up through the S's, because with most race cars, when you come here to the Glen, your foot is flat to the floor from the time you exit turn 1 until the time you brake going into the bus stop. Mitchell working on Belzer right now.
No problem, bro.
As Matt Metler, after pit starting, currently sits in 13th. A little bit of connection issue coming through the. They're coming down the back chute here. As we go back to that battle, Mitchell. Oh, hang on to her. Cody Mitchell, 4-wheel drift mode coming through the final corner. That's going to let Jones get by him. Belzer gets back by him. And this battle is not over, as here comes Zach Wood up the inside. And while we're waiting for green flag pit stops to take place, we are going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back at Watkins Glen. As you saw there while we were away, Zach Woods unfortunately collided with the wall on the back chute. So some damage repair needing to be fixed on the 60 here tonight. And we just saw James Jones have an off track coming through the bus stop. That let Richard Gonzalez get up into 6th. By virtue of that, it gave Rhett Belzer in the 94 a little bit of breathing room. As your closest battle on track right now is back here between Collins and Mayo. Collins has done nothing but slide backwards ever since qualifying up towards the front. And they both have issues coming into that. Ouch! That was the leaders. And that is Bluetooth left front suspension on Greg Wood Jr.'s car. Let's go back and watch that again. You see Mayo tries to cut it back down. Collins gets him. There goes Gonzalez as he gets into the Armco. Looks like all the wheels are still turning right on that car, though. It's a little bit of aero damage. But Greg Wood Jr., let's go back and watch what happened here. And watch this hit. That hurt. And unfortunately, Wood is going to be on pit road for a little bit. It did. Oh, he burned his fast repair. Okay. So he pitted a little bit earlier than he was looking to do. Belzer and Gonzalez starting to go after each other. This is 4th and 5th. And that is Greg Wood Jr. right behind these two. Now, Greg has been, on average, 3 seconds faster a lap than both of these guys. Gonzalez knows it's coming. He gets down and out of the way. That's going to give Woods a clear shot at Belzer for 4th, knowing that all 4 cars in front of him still have to pit. Now the question is that stop too early for a 65% fuel fill? Oh, hang on to a Rhett Belzer. He gets very wide during the carousel. It's going to let Gonzalez get back to him. And these two guys pick up their battle again for 5th. And one of the last guys in this series I would want driving mad around me tonight is the driver of the number 78, that Matco Tools Ford Mustang of Greg Wood Jr. I do not want to be in his crosshairs when he's mad. Get back to this battle between Belzer and Gonzalez. There's a whole gaggle of cars coming up through the S's now. And I dare say Ricky Gonzalez, your current leader, he's starting to struggle a little bit, as his last lap time has fallen off quite a lot. Now, that crash happened back on lap 16. That's why there's an anomaly in there of 119. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. It's going to be aero damage more than anything else, so not really going to be a major effect on this car. As Richard Gonzalez brings it down pit road. We are just about at the halfway mark. As Gonzalez comes to the start-finish line, stage 2 in the books, 20 to go. And there is your running order. Gonzalez, McDonald, Cogswell, Wood, Belzer, Jones, Mitchell, Sleep, Gonzalez, Woods, all getting stage points here tonight. He's going back to second place. There's Dylan McDonald. Coming through carousel now. That's the boot that he just drove by. For those of you who are IndyCar and longtime Formula One fans. For that matter, if you're a fan of endurance racing, they use the boot as part of the Sailing 6 Hours here at the Glen. And McDonald's coming pit side this time. And Richard Gonzalez using a little bit of the undercut to get by Rhett Belzer. Gonzalez pit on 19. Belzer hung it out there till lap 20. Both of these guys are currently a lap down. And now McDonald and Cogswell both come pit side. That promotes Greg Wood Jr. back into second. As Gonzalez brings it pit side. And unfortunately for Wood, the pit delta is only about 47 to 49 seconds. He's got a 52-second gap to make up. And I can promise you folks, these guys are pitting for fuel well before they're going to need to pit for tires. As a matter of fact, Gonzalez does not change tires. 41.72, and he's off of pit road already. If that's not strategery, I don't know what is. Gonzalez picking his way through the lap cars right now. That's David Mayo that he just worked by. Zach Woods in the 60 is back out on track. That is Zach right behind your race leader. Zach right now is the first car, one or more laps down, but for how much longer? Gonzalez has been a man on a mission here tonight, putting everybody on notice that they're lucky he did not make it into the round of 8. $17 to go, and the lead is now back out to 17.5 seconds. Make that 17 3/4 seconds now. And the last car on the lead lap to bring it down pit side is going to be James Jones in the 45. He stayed out longer than anyone else. So with him able to go, well, he went 23 on a tank of Go Fast, but that includes the parade lap. Wood has got to save. Junior's got to save at least 2 laps of fuel to make it home, as Mayo having big issues. What happened to Dave? Oh, caught the grass. And just buries it in the sand trap. And Greg Wood Jr.'s down pit road. Hopefully he's just going to go fuel only here. And he does. Fuel only for Wood, drops into 4th. He's got 5 seconds to make up on Jonathan Cogswell. Well, now there's no doubt he can make it from here. Question is he going to have enough time to catch Cogswell and pass him? You know, let's go on board with the Matco Tools driver. see it there coming up through the S's. Wood Jr. short shifting it, trying to save some fuel. I don't think he's really in fuel conservation mode now, because he knows he can make it from here as he's working the inside. That is the lap car of David Motorspa, I think. And the gap up to Cogswell is down to just a little over 3 seconds. He's already cut 2 seconds out of it. Take a look over the last couple of laps, what's happened here. There you see it. Wes Fuller getting out of the way. Those lap cars seem to be holding Wood up a little bit more than they have been Cogswell. There you see that gap continues to dwindle. Cogswell seems to be getting into turn one a little bit better than Woods is. And, I mean, Greg's got to pull a rabbit out of his hat, as we're only 11 laps to go in this one. As you can see on your screen at the bottom of it, we're now 10 to go. As Ricky Gonzalez is now going into turn one. He's looking to do something that not too many people have done ever in iRacing, and that is lap the whole field. Right now, it's only the top four on the lead lap. And you can see these two guys are coming through the final corner right now. And you can see there that Gonzalez just came through the bus stop, and he's now bearing down on Caleb Collins to put him another lap down. And Collins is back there in 13th. Dylan McDonald, your current second place finisher, coming down the NASCAR short chute in between the chicane and the penultimate corner now. As here we go down the back chute, past 4 position, Greg Wood Jr. back onto the podium. And for those of you wondering why everybody seems to be having such a difficult time here, well, let me show you why. Have a look at that weather. 86-degree ambient air temperature, relatively low humidity, which means these engines are going to be making all the Hurspurs, to quote my man James Pumphrey over there at Donut Media. All the Hurspurs, but that track conditions at 130 degrees. Wow. Hot enough to cook an egg on the dash of one of these whips here tonight, which means that grip is at a premium. Once again, only your top 3 have gone sub 1 minute. Actually, only your top 3 have gone sub 1 minute 14, as they're all in the 12s. 1:12:58 for Gonzalez, 1:12:84 for McDonald, and 1:12:89 for Greg Wood Jr. And what could have been for Greg Wood Jr. tonight, as unfortunately he caught that spinning lap car coming out of the bus stop. Both he and Gonzalez got into it. The only problem is Gonzalez didn't have Bluetooth suspension when all was said and done, whereas Junior did. So we are now 7 to go. As we're checking back in with your race leader, that is Ricky Gonzalez. As he comes up to put Bill Sleep on the lap down. Make that another lap down. The Sleep has problems. Getting it all sorts of sideways back there coming out of the bus stop. Checking back in here with Zach Woods and James Jones starting to heat things up for 6th. As we are now 6 to go. Ricky Gonzalez, Dylan McDonald, Greg Wood Jr., your top 3 right now. McDonald, your biggest mover at plus 13. Hey, James Jones locking him up, going into 1. I wonder if that's brake fade or driver fade. This is your closest battle on track. Been a lot of give and take with these guys. We are now 5 to go. Handshake lap for your race leader, Ricky Gonzalez, who has a 23.5 second lead over Dylan McDonald. If those of you wondering what a 23-second gap looks like, there's McDonald just starting to come up through the S's on your map there in the 38. Gonzalez now coming out of the bus stop. Flirting with disaster there coming out of turn 1, as that curbing on the exit of turn 1, you've got to be real careful, especially with the new flat bottoms on these cars. It is so easy to high center and unload the suspension on one of these things. If you're going to go over it with all 4 tires. Don't try to straddle it, because that's when you get into big trouble. But right now, Gonzalez making it work, coming through the carousel, coming to 3 to go. Back sub 114 for your race, Peter Gonzalez. 3 to go. And the gap is now out to 26.5 seconds over Dylan McDonald. Greg Wood Jr., another 28.5 seconds back off of him. Wes Fuller and Cody Mitchell going after each other now. That is your fight for ninth place. Fuller just had some issues. Mitchell just had some issues. Let Fuller close in on him. But right now, Ricky Gonzalez, 2 to go. Popsicle sticks here in the Finger Lakes. Gonzalez putting on a clinic here tonight of how to get around the super speedway of road courses. Through the penultimate corner. And through the final corner. White flag is in the air. He can see it as he brings it onto the front straightaway. We are racing back to checkers. Gonzalez, 31.5 seconds to the good after cranking off 5 consistent 113 laps. The only other guy to be able to put anything close to in that ballpark tonight is that man, Greg Wood Jr., as he did 14s and followed it up with a 13. McDonald, his last few laps, 14s with a 15. And he's had to deal with a little bit more lap traffic than has Gonzalez through the bus stop for the final time tonight and through the carousel. Lap car getting down and out of the way. That's the right thing to do. Down the NASCAR short chute for the final time into the penultimate corner. Unless he really screws it up here in the final corner. Checkered flag is in the air. Gonzalez brings it onto the front straightaway, salutes his crew. Gonzalez coming home with the victory. 33.5 seconds to the good over that man. Dylan McDonald in the 38, who is your biggest mover, by the way. McDonald started almost dead spanking last year tonight. Climbed through the field pretty quickly, but unfortunately just didn't have anything to catch Gonzalez. With that start Gonzalez was able to get. McDonald clinches second place, though, as there is Greg Wood Jr. coming into the penultimate corner for the final time himself. And into the final corner, that's your top three, Gonzalez, McDonald, and Jr. There is your race winner. As we are going to, as soon as I can find him, we are going to reach out now to the man driving the number 7, putting on an absolute clinic of how to get around Watkins Glen tonight. Ricky Gonzalez putting everybody on notice that they're damn lucky you didn't make it into the grade 8 in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've been traveling a lot for work. Been going to California a lot. I'm all over the West Coast, so yeah, it's definitely heartbreaking. We're not in the playoffs. But yeah, that was a good old butt kicking tonight. I felt good about that. Practice all week. I'm not good on road courses. You can tell from my iRating and the rookie stuff. I'm not the best, so I like to practice all week, and I guess it paid off. Like I said, that was a clinic.
It absolutely was. The only driver tonight to even flirt with going sub 112. Normally a 112 here will get you pole position, but you definitely had your work cut out for you with McDonald and Jr. both hunting you down pretty quick. Talk us through what your take was with that accident coming through the bus stop.
Yeah, it looked like Caleb and Mayo were trying to, they were being nice, letting each other go and stuff, and it looks like Mayo just had a mess up in the bus stop, and yeah, it cleaned out Greg, and then it got me a little bit of damage. So we came down and took the fast repair, but yeah, there was a lot of incidences for me in the bus stop. As far as I got into Mettler, I couldn't see Mettler for a little bit. He was all over the place with blinking, and he braked, and I guess he popped up on the screen right there, and then I kind of got into him then. Kind of overshot the bus stop there, but yeah, luckily we had a big enough lead that we didn't have to, fight Dylan really hard and whatnot. So yeah, that was a couple moments where I had some brown pants moments.
Well, Ricky, again, congratulations on the victory here at the Speedway of Road Courses. Who do you need to thank? Who helps you get it done on the number 7?
I just want to thank everybody at TTR and Rage. We have a lot of people on the team, so appreciate them. Helping us do what we do, make the team successful and whatnot. Wes does the paint, so I appreciate him, even though I'm kind of running the wrong banner on the car. I need to learn how to do these paints. My girlfriend, who's in the other room, appreciate her letting me jump on in the rig and have fun with the boys for a couple minutes. It's always fun to mess with those guys. This week actually was Elvis week. He passed away on Wednesday, August 16th, so I wanted to run this in honor of him. I know I've been running this scheme all year long. Huge Elvis Presley fan, so we got them all shook up tonight in Victory Lane. And yeah, we'll go next week. Hopefully we make it. I land in DFW like around 6. I know we're at Michigan, won there earlier in the year, so land in DFW from California at 6. Going to come in, chat with her for a little bit. I won't be able to see her all week, and then yeah, we'll take it to Michigan and go from there. You guys in the booth, appreciate everything y'all do at SRM. Y'all do a fantastic job. I tune in week in and week out. My co-partner there, Zach Woods, is in the booth. So I tune in when Zach is in the booth and try to make fun of him, try to phase him a little bit. But he's such a good professional that, nothing phases that dude.
Well, Ricky Gonzalez, apparently this is a real shitty week to be a fan of some of the greats. I don't know if you heard the pre-race, but unfortunately we lost longtime Buffalo Sabres announcer Rich Jenneret last night, and we kind of dedicated this race into his honor. But two kings of what they did, Elvis Presley and Rich Jenneret.
Yeah, prayers to the Buffalo Sabres organization. I just got into hockey a little bit ago because of the Dallas Stars. They had a good season this past season. But yeah, big prayers to the Buffalo Sabres. Hopefully the family's doing okay and whatnot. But yeah, appreciate you, man, as always. So yeah, two kings for sure. We'll end it on that note for sure. Yeah, two kings.
Ricky Gonzalez, best of luck to you next week. Hopefully you can make it in time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And joining us now, the man who is our biggest mover of the night after not getting the qualifying attempt he was anywhere near hoping for, but definitely carved through this field like a hot knife through butter. Dylan McDonald, congratulations on salvaging a podium tonight.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. Like you said, it just practice. I felt fine to go out for qualifying, and I lock them up in every single corner, and I just couldn't get through the corners to save my life. So I had to start from the tail. I've been doing a lot of officials this week at Watkins Glen, so I already knew how big track position was going to be. So, just behind the 8 ball from the start, and had a couple incidents early in the race. I took out Caleb, and I don't know. The car just felt completely weird the whole race, but
well, you don't think the track temperature being at 132 had anything to do with it, do you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, practice, by the time it came down to the end of practice, the track temp was all the way down to like 118 degrees, and then qualifying, it was back up to 126. So it's like, man, that just really bummed. Really wish I would have gotten up there to battle with Ricky, but, you win some, you lose some. Just got to fight for another day.
There's always next week, right?
Yeah. What was it, Michigan?
Yeah.
No. I'm not a fan of Michigan. Draft tracks, I don't like draft tracks. So I guess we're just going to have to fight for it.
Best of luck to you then. Who helps you get it done on the 38?
I got to give a big shout out to Dustin Hall with EPI. Got his nephew on my car, been running it all season long. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to my dad and his wife, Michelle, with her battling cancer. And want to give a big shout out to my uncle. Recently, he got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, so it's been kind of hard on me now. So just
hang in there, bud.
Just hopefully he can pull through it. And, just everybody over here, and I don't know, man, it just sucks.
Man,
Just trying to
sorry.
Take my mind off everything, but in reality, it's always coming back.
I completely understand, my friend. The only thing you can do is spend as much time as you possibly can with your family members, and don't forget to tell them that you love them while they're still here.
This whole race has been for him. The rest of the season is going to be for him and for her. It's just too soon, man. Cancer freaking sucks. It
absolutely does. But I do want to direct you and your family over to Trish's Hope, being as you are in the Indiana area. Trish'sHope.com, and they can set you loose with some resources that might help things out a little bit. So definitely give them a look, and maybe reach out to them and look for some support for your family with Trish's Hope. You know, they've got my dollar every time I have a spare one.
Yeah, I'd definitely look into it, and just gotta keep on the up and up and see what happens. But also gotta give a big shout out to you up in the booth, week in and week out. Love going back and watching them. Henderson Graphics for making the schemes. Ricky, my old teammate, congrats to him for the win, and everybody that's on the car. Moto and PC, Elite Performance Industries, Title Town Racing, all those guys over there. I know I'm not affiliated with them anymore, but still great group of guys to run with. All my family out there watching. Just hopefully I can get it done here in the next couple of weeks.
Dylan McDonald, congratulations. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
Thanks, buddy.
And joining us now is what could have been the man out of Hagerstown, Greg Wood Jr. I mean, it's an excellent recovery, but all things considered, after going Bluetooth on the left front suspension after tagging a spinning lap car, you can't be too disappointed with a top 3 finish. That should still have you in the points lead coming out of tonight.
I race week by week, so this one stung. I had a 6 in a row race winning streak between this and another league I run in, and this killed it. I mean, I didn't expect to win. I expected Ricky and Dylan to beat me anyway, but to be that close to Ricky and have it all taken away by oops, yeah, it stings.
Yeah, it does, but all things considered, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been.
Imagine how long this race would have been for you had you not had a fast repair. I mean, it would have been the same category as what your dad did.
It would have been all F4 all the way.
Well, luckily you didn't do that. You hung in there. You salvage as many points as you can.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's still a decent points night. Of course, chasing Dylan like I have been all season. So I need all the points I can get.
Well, next week we go into a track that you've had some pretty good success at in the past. I know for a fact. As we go into the house that Penske built, what are your thoughts going into Brooklyn, Michigan?
Honestly, I'm dog water there. I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm fast. I end up burning my stuff up, and within a couple of laps, I don't know. I just think I'm slow there. But you say I'm fast. You got all the stats, so I guess I'll take your word for it.
You've had some success there in the past, I know. So, let's see what happens. But Greg, who helped you get it done? Who do you need to thank tonight?
Oh, everybody on my team, Title Town Racing, Rage Motorsports. Like Dylan said, great group of guys. Ever since I came over, it's been nothing but success and feeding off one another and everything. You guys up in the booth, thanks for another great broadcast. And now I am back in the iRacing paint game. So anybody needs an iRacing wrap, hit up Wrap Surgeon on Facebook, and I'll get you taken care of.
Remind me to share a couple of things with you before you leave tonight, because I've got a couple of things you might like for nose pieces. But Greg Wood Jr., congratulations on salvaging a podium here tonight in the Finger Lakes of Central New York. We'll see you next week in Michigan.
Yep, see you next week. Thank you.
And that is going to put another one in the book for us tonight. Ricky Gonzalez, Dylan McDonald, Greg Wood Jr. We just spoke to those 3 gentlemen. The only other car to finish on the lead lap was the number 27 of Jonathan Cogswell, coming home in 4th, over a minute off the pace. Richard Gonzalez comes home with a top 5. James Jones, Zach Wood, Rhett Belzer, Cody Mitchell, and Wes Fuller rounding out your top 10. Bill Sleep, Caleb Collins, Matt Metler gains 4 spots to come home in 13th. David Modespa, a night he just as soon forget is he and David Mayo both put it on the hauler early, and Greg Wood Sr. was still thrashing to get that car fixed when the checkers finally flew. That is going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action this weekend here from Watkins Glen, as Matt Metler and I will be in the booth tomorrow and Sunday as both the ISNF and Sunday Night NASCAR Series come into the Finger Lakes for their Cup Series and back-to-back nights. This is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that until we get a chance to meet again and as you walk down the road of life this week, first of all, don't forget to tell your family that you love them every chance you possibly get, because you never know what's going to happen next. And life's too damn short to go through this life miserable. And whatever you do, don't play in traffic. Good night and God bless.